Hello everybody, I hope you are all well and having a good week. It's Megan here from Ely Child and Family Centre based in East Cambs, and I'm going to read you a story today. So last week, if you listened, I read The Gruffalo, and because it was so popular, I thought I'd choose another Julia Donaldson book to share with you this week. So this story, I'm going to see if you can guess first. It has two characters or main characters in it. One is a snail, and the other is a bit of a bigger animal. It's a whale. Do you know? Well done if you were right. It is The Snail and the Whale. So it's written by Julia Donaldson and it's illustrated by Axel Scheffler. Let's get started. So, this is the tale of that tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is the rock as black as soot, and this is the snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail, he slithered all over the rock, and he gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. Ah, the sea is deep and the world is wide. And how I long to sail, said that tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock. Can you see them? And they're all stuck tight to this smooth black rock. And they said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Shh, be quiet, sit still, don't wriggle, and stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, and then she cried, "I've got it! I'll hitch a lift!" So this is the trail of that tiny snail, a slithery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." Now this is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale, immensely long, who sung to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. This is the tale of that humpback whale. So he held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." Now, this is the sea so wild and free that carried the whale and the snail in his tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands, with fiery mountains and golden sands. Ooh, I think I'd like to be on a beach right now. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed. The tiny snail on the tail of that whale. Now these are the caves, and that's beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins. Oh yeah, they do look a bit scary. They swam around the whale and the snail on his tail. This is the sky so vast and high. It's sometimes sunny and blue and warm, but it sometimes is filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning and flashing and frightening. That tiny snail on the tail of the whale. She gazed at the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, "I feel so small." But then came the day the whale lost his way. Uh-oh, look, there's speedboats, they're running a race. They're zigging and zagging all over the place. They're upsetting the whale with that ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. This is the tide, and it's slipping away. Oh, I wonder what will happen to the poor whale. Uh-oh, This is the whale lying beached in a bay. Quick, off the sand, get back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move, I'm just too big, moaned the whale. And the snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and she started to crawl. I must not fail, said that tiny snail. This is the bell on the school in the bay. They're ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight and don't talk. This is a board as black as soot, and this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail, a snail! And the teacher started to turn pale. Look, said the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of that tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. These are the children, they're running from school, fetching the fireman and starting to dig a pool. Ee-naw. They're squirting and spraying to try and keep the whale cool. And this is the tide coming into the bay, and these are all the villagers shouting, hooray! As the whale and the snail, they travel safely away. There they are. Back to the dock and the flock of the rock, who said, how time's flown, and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, she saved the life of that humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. Look, there they all are. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on that tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. That's the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll see you soon again.